just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, same old, same old, every single day, without exception. Please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. I don't know how it's going to work out because there's so much to say, so much absolute nonsense coming from America, nonsense coming from the EU, nonsense coming from everybody, and corruption. You can't make this up. You've only found out about corruption now, but they didn't. I'll explain later. The debt. I worry the identity of this country is eroding. Being French, I'm embarrassed how we and the EU treat Britain. We owe our existence to those who bravely fought Nazism. Instead, we, France stroke the EU, have tried to humiliate via Brexit and disgracefully failed to take the boat and associated issues seriously. Okay, we'll talk about this anyway. Umbrella says lawsuit, threat and controversy. Trump demands a retraction, apology and $1 billion compensation over misleading edited the 2024 Panorama documentary clip regarding his January 6th speech. I remember that speech actually. And Monsieur Frank, I look at northern France and cities like Paris and Marseille where there were no go areas for police, and basically it is a law of the jungle in places. Yeah, I do know that. I really do. The French basically take millions and turn a blind eye as they are only too happy for them to go to Britain. I know all that as well. You're talking about the boat people, of course. TW. Even in Frank and chat, he carries on by saying, slap the likes and subscribe on the way in. Thank you, T. Thank you. Buonasera a tutti, says Bella, meaning good evening, everyone. And that's it. I'm ashamed of the EU and its obsession with freedom of movement. I worry in Britain. There are no borders people assimilate, and the weak judicial system with its fascination for the ECHR. We'll be talking all about this. We'll be talking all about this. Our little Amby. Good evening, Frank, and all the lovely chatters. Lovely. And there's our wandering star, the old mate, Steve Holland, Mulholland. He's just got back from I think, where did he get back from? Cape Verde. Cape Verde, I think. I think. That's it. What is it with your government so weak, so feeble? They can find millions to house illegal migrants, but not a word about the 1,611 homeless people who died in this country last year. We'll be explaining everything in the start. It's a big club and we aren't, says ambidextrous. I think it was in a predictive text somewhere there. Hiya, Frank, says Marie Morgan. Hiya, Marie. Hiya. Frank, can I call with some food tomorrow, says Janet Darlington. No, I'm going shop. No, I'm going tomorrow. Janet, thank you. Thank you. I'm doing a pod tomorrow, film and TV. My daughter will be here at 1 o'clock. And I'm going out shopping, Janet. Thank you anyway. Okay, you know. But you can call in later on in the afternoon if you want. But that's about it, you know. I'm okay for food. Want to say to Franco and chatters, hope you're all well, says Toscan. Good evening, Frank, and everyone in the chat. Hope you're all keeping warm in this miserable weather, says Rob McIntyre. Rob, that's why I've got this. I'm fucking freezing. Freezing, I am. And Jeanette puts a thumbs up. She made Jeanette. That I agree with you completely. I always ask people, would they keep their door open and let anyone in? People need to be vetted. It's a privilege to live in another country, not a right. Excellent, excellent reply to it. That is. That's an excellent reply by Toscana. And that's it. Sorry, Monsieur Frank. No, don't be sorry. Don't ever be sorry. I know it's heavy. So no, don't ever be sorry on here because this is what it's about. This is what it's about. It's about what's going on. It's current affairs. It's current affairs. And this is what's going on. So no need to apologise for anything. Anything about being heavy. We're all heavy, unfortunately. I've raised the heavy subject I've raised just angry that so many things brushed under the carpet, but in 2 weeks taxes up, yes, go up. People like moi come into the light. We are stigmatized. Of course we are. I went to Manchester yesterday. I met an LFC fan. You can't make this up, can you? Well, that's a bit of a digression, isn't it? By lovely Jeanette. Thing is, you see, I'm looking now at what America are doing. And the world is allowing it. They're wanting regime change in Venezuela, but it's not going to stop there because Marco Rubio, he wants to get his hands on Cuba. He wants regime change in Cuba. And also, they want regime change in Colombia. They want to turn Latin America into puppets. You do as we say, because they've already got one in Meli down in Argentina. One of the most corrupt leaders in the Western world, or the Southern Hemisphere, South America. And yet they gave them $60 billion so that he'd get back in. That's corruption. That's corruption. They've been doing it all the time. And they're always sending over to the EU, you better do this. This is America, this is Trump, you better do this. So therefore, the likes of, as I've mentioned many times, about Romania and Kalen Georgescu, who was going to win it. And this is because he said Romanian people come first, not Ukraine. What's Ukraine got to do with us? So von der Leyen cancelled. This is democracy she's talking about, by the way. This is the democracy she wants. Yet she cancelled. She? Who is she? Who the hell is von der Leyen? Who elected her in? Nobody. You didn't. I didn't. And yet she cancelled the elections in Romania because the leader in the election, Georgescu, didn't want to know about Ukraine. So therefore, if you're going to say, if you're a leader of any European country, whether east or west, there's two questions that you're asked. Do you hate Russia? Yes. Will you give money to Ukraine? Yes. That's all you're in. Oh, yeah, great. And this is the way it is. They're trying to do colour revolutions in Georgia. Not Georgia in America, Georgia. They've been trying to do colour revolutions there. Absolutely ridiculous. Now you've got mates, and this is what I don't understand. This is what I just don't understand. Mates wants a big German army. Now, after World War II, they weren't allowed to have a big army. So what's happened there? They're allowing things to manifest in Germany, especially military-wise. And it's only because of being Russophobes. Oh, yeah, well, Germany could go in and we could go in and follow them. Because this is what they're gearing up for, a war with Russia. And people don't realise, not saying you don't, people don't realise, especially these stupid leaders in Europe, they're so pathetic, they haven't a clue. Haven't a clue. And they don't realise that the SMO, Special Military Operation, is not a full-blown war. They haven't, if they declared a full-blown war, I'll tell you what would happen. Within a couple of weeks, Kiev would be flat. Be flat. The whole of Ukraine would be run over. It just would be. I'm telling you now. All the major cities in Ukraine would be flattened if it was a full-blown war. But it's not. It's a special military operation just for those oblasts. And you're getting the likes of mates you're getting the likes of Mark Rutte. What a prat. Heads of NATO. Now they're in Provosk. They just taken Provosk, but they're in a place called Minorod or something like that. And they're saying surrender. Loads of Ukrainian soldiers are surrendering, but I tell you who isn't. And they are the mercenaries. Now, you know what happens to mercenaries, don't you? The mercenaries are just blown out of the water. They just go straight to a jail called a mercenary, and then they'll be executed. But that's not just for Russia, that's every country. The hitmen. Right. Oh yeah, I've read that. Let me go on. When Jeanette said she went to see an LFC fan, she said he was trying to get £19 for a bed for the night. I'm not even answering that, Jeanette. I'm sorry. Frank, I met someone in Cape Verde that looks like you and sent you an. Did you? Do you know what? I've been having fucking problems with everything about my emails. I had them on again today. These people, Indians, and they're a fucking nuisance. Over, sending me oh, fuck. It's so pathetic. The security, even, if you buy a telly, you put us on. You can't put us on. You got to put fucking passwords, put codes and everything. You can't just turn it on. Everything is security. And you know why that is, don't you? Because they're looking at you with all this modern technology. They can see you. I'm telling you now. So you mess there. So I've got a doppelganger, and Cape Verde. I'll have a look at the emails later if you don't mind, Stay. I haven't looked at them. The only time I looked at them, because I get loads, is when these stupid people who are phoning me up about a fucking SIM card. So annoying. And he had me on the phone for 40, and I said, hey, I'm in the fucking dentist. I wasn't I was in bed. I said, I'm in the dentist. I'm being called. So I turned them off. Fucking nuisances there. Oh, it's all, it's security. Security. Fucking hell. But that says, Monsieur Frank, has in America been trying regime change in Central? Yes. Before Ronald Reagan. They've been everywhere. Everywhere. They've been trying to do regime changes. I always remember Obama. No, it wasn't. Who was it? Was it Obama? Oh. I think it was Obama. Was it Obama? I'm not quite so sure now. And they came on the fucking telly saying there was a general election here. And they were saying the Conservatives are our friends. That was political interference with our elections. Was it him? See, it goes back to the Reagan era, when Reagan has a love affair with Margaret Thatcher, and she was hated in this country. And he was trying to say, she's a great woman. You don't realise what she's doing. We fucking knew what she was doing, mate. But you see, they've got an affiliation with the Conservatives. And they try to meddle all the time. Try to meddle all the time. They're always meddling. It was Obama, because I remember him saying, more or less, if you don't put the Conservatives in, you'll go bottom of the list. You know, with trade and things. That's what he said, and it was Obama. And they say they don't interfere with fucking hell, they interfere with everyone. Van der Leyen says Odette is a disgrace. Of course she is. She's a liar, she's corrupt, she's everything. They are only interested in money. That's why Starmer being told to contribute more for a smokescreen. Hungary and Poland have been calling her bluff. They hate Orban. Of course they do. Because he doesn't... they hate Fico as well. And they've got a new fella to contend with. And that's... I can't pronounce his name, unfortunately. It's the Czech Republic, new president. And he says, no, fuck Ukraine. My people are more important. So there's three of them. You have Vucic of Serbia, but he's like, he flip-flops him. But he said, he came out, didn't he, yesterday or the day before, and said that Europe, what they're doing is they're gearing up to have a war with Russia once this Ukraine thing. So that's why they want Ukraine to, that's why they, look, they've just been called, there's 100 million gone missing with this Mindic. And I think it's a red flag for us, you know, saying, oh yeah, about the corruption, because now Zelensky is saying, oh, he's a bad dude, and where is he? He's gone to Israel. He's gone to Israel. And it's 100 million. That's nothing. Believe it or not, that's nothing to Zelensky. Zelensky is a multi-billionaire now. That's fuck all to him, that's peanuts. So, you know, Zelensky's saying, yeah, the corruption, it is bad. And we're sorting it. And you know the way it's coming out now, saying that he sneaked off this Mindic with 100 million. With 100 million to Israel. Why did he go to Israel? Are they all Jews in Kiev? I know they're Azovs. They're Azovs, they're Nazis, I do know that. I was listening to a report before that, you know, the military came out, you know, military newspaper, Ukraine, and listen to this. They came out and said they shot down a Kinzhal missile, supersonic missile, which they can't shoot down because they're impossible to shoot down. But they shot it down, get onto this, by singing a song as well, as they were shooting it down, a Banderite, Bandera, song. How fucking embarrassing is that? You know who Bandera is, don't you? Or was. He was a Nazi, SS, Ukrainian, putting hundreds of thousands of people to the deaths, executing them. Shocking. Shocking what that man, and yet they're coming out and saying we were playing songs as we were defending ourselves. Banderite. Bandera songs. Don't forget that they've got statues up in Kiev of him, around the country actually, and street names after him. So I knew about corruption. You've only got to look back to 2018 and 19 to see the Western press saying how corrupt Ukraine was. The corruption's rife. This is there. Now nothing's fucking said until, 72 hours ago with this Mindich. Now they're saying, corrupt, but they're going to leave Zelensky alone. It's all a red flag, to the West about Zelensky saying, he's gone, he's corrupt, and we can't wait to get him back. Fuck off, they're not going to get him back. He's in Israel. And no one can say anything about Israel, if you know what I mean. They've got a leader there who's going to go to jail for the rest of his life because of corruption charges. Netanyahu, one of the most corrupt, he's corrupt. And that's why, because of war, he can't get to court to be found guilty. And for him to, that's why Trump meddling again when he said, I want you to pardon Netanyahu to the justice system in Israel. He's a good man. Think about what Trump said. He's a good man. He's a good war hero. What fucking war? The Palestinians are not fucking fighting. They've got no weapons to fight. And he's calling him a war hero. It's fucking shocking. It really is what's going on. And von der Leyen, she wants to steal 140 billion of Russian assets to give to Zelensky. And yet there's the corruption going on. Well, I'm telling you now, and I've said it many times, Ukraine, a washing machine. Don't you think that the likes of von der Leyen will get money back from that? It's not going to the ordinary fucking people because we know that. We know this. Fucking shocking. It really is. Shocking. Salute. And as you said there, it's about Starmer. There's 4.5 million children below the poverty line here in this country. And I know a few teachers, I'm still in touch with a few. And they've actually been buying, little breakfast bars and little drinks, for the kids who need it themselves. And even a little lunch. It's shocking. And he's pledged £5 billion to Ukraine. What the fuck has Ukraine done for us. Who are they? Who are these people? Who is this country? And with there's a fella named, oh, what's his fucking name? Baudelac or something like that, his name is. You know, right hand man to Zelensky. And he's come out today and you know who he blamed for this corruption? You're not going to fucking believe it. Russia. He's blamed Russia. He's blamed Russia for the corruption in fucking Kiev. This is how pathetic they are. Fuck. Jeanette, I'm cooking lamb with new potatoes and drinking Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. Very good. Fuck. That's correct. The Germans, like the Japanese, as restrictions put in place after World War II in their military. When von der Leyen was defence minister, the army was training with brush shafts. She is a joke. Yes, she's been voted the worst German defence minister in history. Von der Leyen. She's a failed politician. Look at Callas. Kaya Kallas, one fucking idiot. She's a failed politician of Estonia. And she's always threatening Russia. Eh? And when all this corruption came about, I fucking knew about the corruption years ago. Everyone fucking knew it. And they always tried to keep a don't say nothing. And I'm talking about the likes of von der Leyen and everyone else. And what did Callas say yesterday? When she was asked, you know, what about the corruption, you know, what's been going on? And she said, it's unfortunate. Yet they still want to give fucking Zelensky 140 billion of Russian assets. Not thinking about the consequences because Russia will win this war and they'll want their fucking money back. That's why they're saying, all right, go ahead. But we'll want our fucking money back. Telling you now. That's what they're saying. Johan. Hiya, Johan. Good evening, Frank and Legends. Hope everyone is well. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Good to see you, Johan. The Redbirds. How's you, Frankie? I'm okay. Yeah, Redbirds. I think I am anyway. Barry the Aldridge. Even a Frank and everyone. Hi, Redbirds. Oh, this is nice. I didn't take you for a time. Listen, if you were sitting in here with me, you'd be wearing one, even if you didn't have one. I had to wear it, honestly. Fucking freezing. Freezing, Johnny. Good to see you anyway on this pod. Really. The Red Bit. Obama was a terrible. Of course, he had blood on his hands, him. Do you know he deported more people than Trump has? Although that could change, yeah. Yeah. Dragging them out of the homes. Their homes. Workers as well. Kids going to school. Oh, but come on. He was a horrible president, Tim. Horrible. I always remember, I think it was 2004 or 5 now, 2004, 5, Katrina, Hurricane Katrina destroyed lots and lots of homes, down in the French Quarter of New Orleans. And all the homes, 85% of them or something like that, belonged to blacks. And he went on the premise of, his election thing, I'm going to help these people, because George W. didn't help them at all. And they're still the same today. No one's helped these people. And it's shocking. It's shocking. And I always remember, I forget who it was, I don't have a fucking clue who it was, but you see this black congressman going back down. And I think, I think during the first Trump era, and someone asked him about Obama, and he said, bad dude. And this is a black congressman. He said he was a bad dude, bad president. He promised to help the people down in New Orleans, and he didn't lift a finger. Not a finger. Those poor people who have been waiting for over 10 years to be helped. That's going back to 2000, when the other fella got in, 16 was it? Trump first term. That's it. Monsieur Frank, can I ask a question? Of course you can. Pershing wanted to continue World War I and not agree to an armistice with Germany. He warned the Germans needed defeated. He was right or wrong, as he predicted 20 years on. See, Pershing, look, you had Montgomery in the Second World War. And Montgomery, he just wanted to defeat the Nazis. And he knew, he said, the Germans, he said, was, they needed, but he was talking about Nazi Germans, needed to be eradicated. And then he mentioned about, if you've got a certain ideology, it never dies. And that happens in Ukraine. Because as soon as that coup d'etat went in 2014, led by Victoria Nuland, who wanted to overthrow a legitimate president of Ukraine, who the Ukrainians voted for in a legitimate election. Yankashenko, I can never pronounce this fella's name. Yankovic. And he was overthrown in the coup d'etat 2014. And that's when he came from under the woodwork. The Azovs, the Nazis, they'd been lying low because they couldn't do anything. But once that was it, and it was over, and this is what fucking von der Leyen and Nuland and America are saying, freedom, democracy, they've got democracy. Have you seen the fucking democracy that Ukraine have got? Murdering people, dragging people out of their houses to go and fight in the front line because there's no fucking men. There's no men. I've got footage on my telly, and you see them. You see a lad walking his dog, and he just fucking gets overpowered by these fellas. Just drive up and throw him in a van, and you see the dog running down the road after the van. Little dog. But there was one which was hilarious. It was brilliant. You see these people, only a couple of people, lying. They must have been in a little cove, lying on a little beach, little sandy beach. And anyway, these two fellas, and you see this fella lying down. And it reminded me of me when Liverpool were playing Everton. I'm going back years ago. And a fella named Ronnie Rosenthal scored, the winner against Everton in the last minute. And I was like that. And this fella said to me, he was sitting next to me, he said, fucking sit down. Because I was in the Kemmerland Road stands, which is the Kenny Dalglish. I said, oh, fuck off, who are you talking to? Because I was like that made up. And he stood up. And as he stood up, I was looking at him and I was going, you're all right, mate. Fucking size of him. But anyway, this fella on the beach, these two fellas went over and they grabbed him. And he stood up and he was fucking like that. And he battered the two of them. I've got that. I've got it. And they ran away, these fucking soldiers. Because they were trying to get him and throw him in a van. Jeanette, we're talking about. Went to an election in Manchester. Very good. I hope you enjoyed it. No disrespect, but this is what we're talking about tonight. Monsieur Frank, with the wealth you exposed about Zelensky and the cars and the property, why is he hanging around? Where is he going to go once this war ends? As I can only see it ending a day. A day of the jackal. That's a crack at that. Well, the point is, you see, he can't leave. Because the Azovs, he's surrounded by them. They're all Azovs, they're all Nazis, and he is their golden goose. That's why he gets sent everywhere to get arms. They get to... Fucking Rubio even said, didn't he, about the arms. He said, our arms are getting destroyed. He said, they go there and they're destroyed by the Russians. And these fucking divvy... there's Greece wanting to give them a couple of fighters and defensive systems. What for? They're only going to be fucking destroyed and you're not going to get them back. They're pathetic. They're pathetic. They still fucking think that Ukraine's going to win for some reason. The more it goes on, Kaya Kallas saying about more sanctions, yet that'll bring Putin down. This is the 19th fucking sanction. Even Trump came out and said sanctions don't work. Can't they understand that? Pathetic. But that's a crack at that, Day of the Jackal, yeah? Because the Azovs are there, they've got him. And they're not going to let him go. But if he walks away, they'll fucking do him in. And the Russians will, whether he goes, wherever he goes, whether he goes to America, whether he goes to Israel, Russia will have him. Russia will fucking have him and Ermak and that Podolyak, whatever his name is. They'll have him as well. They'll get all these soft fellas. They leave Zelensky alone. They leave him alone. They leave Sersky alone. They're just soldiers, they're commanders. But they'll go after them. That's who they'll go after. The comedian, this fucking agent, Ermac, and Badodiak. And Budanov, they're going to get him. They've said that. Going to go after him. Johan, our father is Bandera, struck the Russian missiles down and tapped his piece of... Have you heard about it? It's the most ridiculous thing. It's the most fucking ridiculous thing. But look what they've done. Our father is Bandera. And if the West, this is so pathetic because they've always denied that the Nazis. And yet there's footage even of Bandera's death at the execution. And they still try to, shh, don't say no. This is what they're like. Expecting you and I to fucking believe. The daftest piece of propaganda I've seen, and it absolutely pathetic. Little Amby, Zelensky, another one who kissed the wall. Oh yeah, he's a Jew. Have you noticed you can't say Jew anymore? Because it's offensive. What you fucking call them? Like, I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic. Roman Catholic. You can say Muslim. You can say Sikh. You can say Punjabi. You can say anything. Protestant, Methodist, anything. Yet you can't say Jew. What you call them? Jewish. Does it sounds better? Jewish. Fucking terrible. Labels, as I said. P.S. Evening all. My humble opinion, not condoning, but I feel Russia throwing weight around would be much less if you saw and had factions of the communists as strong as they once were yesterday. Your thoughts? But I feel Russia, they're not throwing the weight around. P.S. They're not throwing the weight around. I'm telling you now, they are not throwing the weight around. Look, you're getting the propaganda machine is coming out and saying about Russia. They're saying about Russia, P.S. And they're saying they wouldn't be doing anything there, because there's China helping them. China. Now they're fucking saying India are helping them by buying the oil. China's helping them with arms. Don't need to. They've got fucking all they've got the Erishnik. They've got another one I can't pronounce, which is incredible. That can go under the sea and fucking stay there for weeks. Nuclear. They've got these supersonic missiles that can't be fucking detected. They're not throwing the weight around. And yet, they're saying that China, the West, the Europeans, and China's, no. Who's helping fucking Zelensky? The whole of the West. and America. They've gave them over $1 trillion. This is America, $1 trillion. Never mind. Have you noticed what the European Union have never said what they've given them? And it's fucking billions. Where's it gone? Because he's still asking for fucking money. Now, you might say, oh, well, he's buying arms. No, he's fucking not, because we've given them loads. We've given Ukraine loads here of that as a big present. At the beginning, they've all been destroyed. This is why he's gone to Greece to say, have you got a couple of planes to give us? And some air defence system. This is what he's like. They're not throwing the weight around. If they did, there'd be no fucking Ukraine. To be honest, Piers. I know what you mean. And what you're saying there would be much less if you saw and had factions of the communists as strong as they once were yesteryear. Your thoughts? Don't forget, there's still a party, and the communists are still in Russia. They're a party. You know, people think, oh, you know, there's no opposition. Of course there's opposition. And yet there's a fella named Navalny. And I watched a documentary, a genuine documentary, when Navalny was going. And he got jailed because he was a fraud. He's corrupt. And anyway, he got jailed and he was set free. He said, yeah, fuck off. Go. So anyway, he went. And this is how thoughtless and stupid the Americans were. These are fucking pathetic people. And they gave him $14 million to go back to Russia so that he could form a party. He had a few followers and take on Putin in an election. Or, you know, Ukraine will form, you know, beat the Russians. Give them a hard time so that the people will turn on Putin, which was just backfired. And as soon as Navalny got back into Russia, they fucking locked him up and put him in jail, where he died. And if you think that, you know, they killed him, they didn't. He was suffering from fucking something. And they wanted him to be a puppet. And he said, where's our 14 million? I don't know who fucking said. He said, oh, fuck off your 14 million. Where's our fucking billions? And that's it. How did van der Leyen get off over the... She is all her texts. She deleted them all. But the firm, like I'm with O2 and other people are with all other things. Well, whoever she's with, they've got them. And they've been told, don't fucking, don't release them. It's like the Epstein files. Don't release them because she fucking deleted them all the corruptors. Scandal all conveniently found no one guilty. Yes, all we hear from Labour, all they do for this country is obsessed with placating Brussels. Disgusting. Yes. What does NATO expect Russia to do when they are training exercises in Estonia or the Arctic, less than 50 miles from the Russian border? If that isn't provocation, what is? Absolutely. They've been doing it for fucking years. It's right, Franco. We pledge millions for war to Ukraine, and yet There are war veterans on the streets. Children go hungry in this country. Families find it hard to live day by day. Who cares? Exactly. Exactly, Bella. Corruption, it always existed. And that's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And that's been an old adage for years. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. For years. And Obama won the Peace Prize and then proceeded to drop more bombs than Bush. Yes. Him and Cameron had Gaddafi killed, murdered. Horrible death that man got. And he was so good to his people. So good. See, it's all the propaganda against certain leaders. Like Bashar Assad, for example. Anyway, Syrian president. Obama was not liked by black people, no. The great hope, but he just followed the same mistake as Labour in this country, took the vote for granted. Obama, like Trump, just wanted the Nobel Peace Prize. It's corrupt, the Nobel Peace Prize, and I've been proved by this Machado, whatever her name is, getting it. A person who wanted to kill her own people when she pleaded with Trump to bomb Venezuela. This is the one who won a Peace Prize. It's corrupt. Corrupt. Toscana to Bella, not just pledging money for wars, but also pandering and throwing money at the illegals. No wonder they won't stop coming. Is right. The boss. Greetings, FC and all. For me, the problem is the masses who won't stand up against what is obviously wrong, often because they are too comfortable or even because they think they too may get the top. I don't, it depends on, if you're talking about the ordinary citizens, no, they're not comfortable at all. They're not comfortable. This is what we're talking about now in this country. You can go to France, they're not comfortable. You can go to Germany, they're not comfortable. No one is fucking comfortable. Germany hasn't learned a lesson. And what they want to do is just read up about a girl named Sophie Scholl, a young 21-year-old student during the Second World War. And there's a massive monument in Berlin to her. She's one of my heroines, Sophie Scholl, the White Rose. And yet, there's still the, I don't care what anyone says. I'm not talking about Sophie, she fucking fought against it. The ideology of Nazism is still there with neo-Nazis. I've seen them in Germany. I've actually fucking seen them. And I go back years ago. I had long hair, beard, when I was in Germany. And I seen these fellas, neo-Nazis, up close and personal. Skinheads they were. Fucking horrible. I'm proudly wearing swastikas, by the way. Not much done. Nothing is done. Oh, sorry. I am tempted to contribute, but there is a real risk of my 2 pence could cause this channel to be banned, as I often been for telling the truth. Ciao and adios, amigos. See you, boss. No, don't fucking start putting it after the deleter. Say, it's not hate that we're preaching. It's the truth. It's opinions. But we don't hate anybody. We just say what idiots they are. I'm trying to think. I'm sure it was Voltaire. Was it? Who said, as long as the rich have an abundance of poor, that's it. And the poor do all the dirty work. And we're the poor. Toscana, says Bella. We could say a lot about that subject. Our country throws money at anyone that asks for it. Not the ordinary citizens. Not the ordinary citizens. They ask, they want help and they don't fucking get it. If I lived in another country and came to Britain getting everything for nothing, hotels, I would. Of course you would. And she says, that's why nothing's going to change and it's never going to stop. Of course it isn't. Monsieur Frank in chat, all this scandal about Starmer, do you think he can survive to the May elections either way? Thoughts on who would... Well, there's a fella named Wes Streeting, and believe you me, he's fucking worse than Starmer. He's only a young fella and he's being groomed by Mandelson and Blair. Think about that. Blair and Mandelson. Wes Streeting. Either way, thoughts on who will take the poison chalice after he is kicked out. And that's who it is, Wes Streeting. You'll never ever get the likes of Jeremy Corbyn. I always remember watching Newsnight once. And what's her name? She always fronted it anyway. And right behind her, she had a massive screen. And it was fucking shocking because they were going on about Jeremy Corbyn. And you see, a picture of Jeremy Corbyn. He's got a coat on, like a fair around, and one of those like Russian hats. And in the background to that, you've got St. Basil's Cathedral and the Kremlin. It was fucking shocking. Propaganda at its best. And that's what the BBC are like. Toscana. To a death. Starmer's digging his own grave, hopefully to the extent that Labour never get back into power again. Smash the gangs. Yeah, right. He's done. Be all that. Navalny was in the same Yale World Fellowship program as Maria Corina Machado. Insurrection agent, yes. See, the grooms, all these people are groomed by the CIA. The CIA. And his wife is still over there. And she's being groomed to take over Putin. You can't make these things up. They took on more they can chew, and they took on Russia. Because if you think that Russia has just been fighting the Ukrainians, well, you know that they haven't, Johan. They've been fighting NATO, and NATO are being destroyed by them, by the Russians. They've got Ukrainian uniforms on. And I was listening to a broadcast by Sergei Lavrov, and someone asked him, they said, well, what about the body count? Why don't you ever say about the Russian body count? He said, well, we've given 9,000 bodies back to Ukraine, and we've received 143 dead comrades. So you work that out yourself. You see, it's all the propaganda. It's a death to Toscana. I think it's Angela Rayner on Movement. She wants back at the top table. I wouldn't be surprised before the next election. It will be Rayner and Burnham ticket. Good shout. But as I said, it's this Wes Sweeting who they're grooming. Evening, Master Franco. Hope you're well, says the IBR. Yes, I'm okay. Fine fettle tonight. Just knackered the other night, though, the football thing. Imagine the hypocrisy of the EU allowing Germany to remilitarize to fight alongside the Nazis against Russia, says you. Russia will never allow it. I know what I've been saying about mates. Wasn't his dad and granddad Nazis in the SS? Mates. So the ideology is there, it's inbred, if you know what I mean. It's inbred in them, Johan. And the IBR to Johan. History repeating, and it's yes. Ali Danush, good evening. This is our Romanian friend. Uncle Joe, West Streeting double ended by Blair. Oh, I like that, Blair. Yeah. And Mandy. That's a thought. That's a thought. Hiya, F. She says, hi, evening, F. Hope you're well. Haven't seen you for a while. Well, a few days, a week, is it? The IBR, Ukraine are now dragging young women off the streets and forced onto the front line and into the meat grinder, says it. Yeah, it's everyone. I've seen the lads who surrendered, the Ukrainians, to Russia, and you just see them standing there, being fed. They've just been fed because they had no food or nothing. And you want to see the fucking ages of them. The ages. Some are the same age as me. And they built the pyramids, if you know what I mean. It says it's shocking, IBR. That really is women, getting Pregnant women as well. Pregnant. That's it. Personally, I don't think streeting is as liked as the media thinks by Labour grassroots. You are right about his Blairite ideology, but not serving him well as a health minister. I don't follow the Labour Party anymore. I don't fucking follow any of them. They're all fucking bent. They're all corrupt. I used to vote every 4 years at a general election since I was 18. The last election, I wouldn't vote. And a couple of friends of mine said, well, what about, I'm not mentioning his name, an MP now. Fucking phony. Local lads as well. And I went, fuck off, I'm not voting for him. What for? And I only said, when was it? A couple of months ago, to the same people, you vote? And I said, no. And only a couple of months ago, I said, if he'd be a fucking decent scouser and a proper Labour man, he'd fucking resign from that fucking corrupt Starmer's government. He'd walk away. He'd resign. But he won't, because he's getting paid. Fucking phony. Ali Danoush, this is genocide of the white race. I can't tell you what someone said to me, and it fucking frightened me, actually. From a colleague of mine. Can't tell you on there. The IBR, Ukraine is being depopulated, ready for the BlackRock stroke Vanguard to buy up all the property and land on the cheap to strip it bare of its history, heritage, nationality. But it's a waste of time because BlackRock's going mad, IBR. Because we're all the, that rich earth and all the rich farmland and the mines and everything else is under Russian control. They've got it in the oblast. So it's just going to be a nothing. It's going to be a nothing. IBR, honestly, it's under Russian control. It's in the oblast. All the best minerals, the rich earth minerals, all the best farmland, all the mine. They've just taken the mine now and Minerod. They've got Zaporozhye nuclear power station, the biggest in Europe. All under Russian control. All they're under now. It's not control, it's in the Russian Federation. So they'd have to fucking take on Russia. Russia will not give up anything. And as Lavrov said, he said, the root cause, and we're going to worm it out and get rid of it. And the root cause of one of the main things why Russia went in was the SMO. Because of the Nazis, the Azovs, who was bombing and shelling Russian-speaking people in the Donbass area, Oblast, killing them from 2014 onwards. So they will denazify. That's what he said. IBR, the Fabian Society run the Do you know what? Honestly, over the years, I've been asked to join the. I was asked. They said, "Will you run? You'll win the seat for UKIP in the European Parliament." I'm going back a few years. I said, "Fuck off." And it was by a former colleague of mine. He said, "You're winning." He was already in it. He was in Brussels. I said, and I was also asked to join the Fabians. I was asked to join the Masons. Bit low me. I said, "No, you're all right." I said, "No, you're all right." The Uncle Joe says, Benters and I mob note all of them. Yes. Everyone. Corrupt. And it's getting worse. And F says, I think it's Churchill who said that a conversation with the average voter is the best argument against democracy. Churchill was a horror. A horror. The people he sent to death and had made him. And if you think like democracy, Rob von der Leyen was, as she says about true democracy now is in Ukraine. Does she know anything about Ukraine? Does she know anything at all about Ukraine? The answer is no, but she does. But she does. But she's trying to convince you, me, and everybody else that democracy is okay in Ukraine and that's what they're fighting for. Forgetting about every fucking party against them, I'm sorry, is in jail. And some of them, these the investigative journalists in particular, I don't know whether you know about this, was sent to the front line, thrown a fucking uniform on. You'd either be executed now or put a uniform on and go to the front line. And they said, okay, go to the front line. Well, most probably be dead now. Monsieur Frank, we don't have politicians anymore who have morals or values. Sadly, there is no Tony Benns, no Frank Fields. The Labour Party is dead and is being swallowed up by the Greens and Reform. The friends I had yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? The day before, when I was absolutely fucking knackered, went on a march with Tommy Robinson. I thought, fucking hell. Never said anything because the person's a lovely person. I did say, like, you know, I couldn't believe it. Reform, Tommy Robinson, Farage. And Bella says, please press the like button and subscribe for Franco. Mille grazie. Bella, mille grazie. And Little Lambie says, politicians want power, and that power comes from us. I'd rather keep my power, so I've never voted. There you go. Well, it's the first time, you know, since I was 18 that I never voted in the last election. And I'm fucking voting the local elections either, because they're all fucking phony. The IBR, look what they did to Jamaica as yet another island planned by the global smart city agenda is flattened to a pulp just like Maui. You can't even, yeah. Well, this is what they want to do to Venezuela and Cuba, flatten that as well, or flatten them, and Colombia. And Barry said, like you said, Frank, I won't be voting for anyone. Don't see the point. As usual, they are only in it for themselves. Of course they are, Barry. That's why I said to a couple of friends of mine, I said, why doesn't he fucking go? Why doesn't he resign? If that would be me, I'd fucking resign right away. And show the people, this fella's a fucking phony, get him out the next election, or get him out now. And I'll return. If you put a decent one in, won't. Good comment, that. Barry. Good comment, mate. Because they are only in it for themselves. Sadly, I don't think things change until compulsory voting comes into law. These politicians live on 50% of the population voting. That's why we have distorted majorities. That's a cracking point, it is. And I'm not just saying that because you're right, they do. Because every time it comes out, there's a low percentage turnout. And you get stupid people. This is what annoyed me over the years, saying, I never voted because. So they're allowing. When, say, like there's three candidates, and I didn't vote because there was three candidates, and I don't like that. The fuck's that all about? Go and vote for the fucking person you want to vote for. What party you want to vote for. They are distorted majorities. Ali says, if our vote counts, nobody will let us vote. Von der Leyen, the Von der Leyen woman, I love that, is a dangerous and desperate cow and clearly building a she's a fucking dictator now. And she calls Putin a dictator. See, I said IBR. I don't know whether you heard me say it, not tonight. She wants to build a massive army, private army, an EU army, like NATO is. An EU army she wants to build. And she's putting like 800 billion, she wants 800 billion put into it to build this army. And I said, the likes of Viktor Orban and Fico of Slovakia, Orban obviously, but Hungary, and this Czech Republican fella, who just want to concentrate on their own people. The money's well spent with their own people. And that Orban's just come out, hasn't he, and said, there's your fucking corruption. This is proof that it's corrupt. And it has been for years. No one will take no notice of that, though. But anyway, she wants this army. And it's not just to take on Russia. It's to take on the likes of Orban when he's defied them about Ukraine. and giving them money because they've always said no. You know, you only need one country to say no. So they won't get the money then. So that army, what she wants, won't be like trying to sanction Oban and they're hungry. It'll be to send the fucking troops in. That's what that is. I'm telling you now. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Let's hope that the EU collapses and get rid of these fucking unelected bureaucrats who's destroying Europe. Shocking. Barry says, I reckon they would have to storm it even before they were elected. He could be well ousted before that. Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, he will be. Well before when is it? 4 years? 5 years? No, 3 years, 3 or 4 years, Sam is the next general. He'd be well gone. Ali, von der Leyen combines socialism with Marxism, and that's a very dangerous politics. Good shout there, Ali. We have lazy politicians, says it. Has your MP ever bothered to knock at your door? What do they do other than line their expenses? Yes. I mentioned that actually today, the two friends. Gone are the days of being an MP. Was a privilege to fight for your community. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. At least Putin was elected who died and made Ursula the queen. Yes. It was funny the other day, Johan. And what they were saying was, look at Putin's right hand. There's something wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. He can't sign, documents or that. He's fucking left-handed. He was showing his right hand. And don't they ever think this man shakes hands every single day with everyone, with his cabinet. So it's bound to, isn't it? That's why when I was the historical consultant for Liverpool One, I met the Queen. You know, she came to Liverpool One, fucking big line of us. And I was told to just gently hold her fingertips if she shakes hands with me. So I said, okay. But I had to line up anyway. Albeit I didn't want to, but it is, you know. And that's what you do. Like the likes of Putin, they're fucking big Russians, you know, big army fellas as well, because he's shaking hands every day with army lads, giving them medals, and they just shake his hand before the ceremony, you know, putting medals on them, saluting them and whatever. Pathetic. But you're right there, Johan. Who fucking died and made her queen? Because she wasn't elected. And I be Arthur Ali the Noose. Von der Leyen is a globalist fascist and nothing more than a puppet for Sabatian bankers. Yes. The globalists, geopolitics is one of those things. That's why you get wars. You have the military complexes absolutely delighted, making lots of money, and congressmen and senators making loads of money. Stand up and, get on the news. The likes of that Lindsey Graham. What a fool. That man is just a fool. Buffoon. They plan to station the EU military bases within the UK, and they will be used. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Any hanky-panky out of countries, they just fucking quell it. You won't be allowed to do anything. They talk about Stalinism. This is fucking Stalinism. What they're doing now. You can't talk out of turn. Think about it. That's a cracking comment, that IBR, by the way. Monsieur Frank, totally agree. The EU, and prior to its EEC, was always a gravy team. Look what we could do with the money squandered on this Parliament and Commission and commissioners. So much waste. Yes. Yes. It is just squandered. But where's it going? Where's all this money going? Don't you think that von der Leyen is making money? Because you've only got to look at Ukraine. And Ukraine for years now has been a big money laundering country, a big washing machine. To throw it all in the washing machine, it all comes out. And there's yours, there's yours, there's yours, there's yours. What about the Ukrainian people? Oh, fuck them. There's yours, there's yours. So the ordinary people are getting nothing. And it's shocking. And there is much waste. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry there. I'll go down and do it again there. They plan to station EU military bases within the UK, and they will be used to force the British population into line. But we're being forced now as well. We're out at gunpoint. IBR. We're out at gunpoint. And this is by the EU. And we're not even in fucking Europe, if you know what I mean. And there's Softlob Starmer wanting to get back in. And it'll only be worse. We're an island. And it'll be worse. Because they could just fucking stop everything coming in. Everything. Through the... That's a cracking comment. Do you know what? Brilliant comments tonight, by the way. Absolutely brilliant. And it's that we can't defend the borders of this country a week after Remembrance Sunday. How do those who fought in World War II think what we fought for? I give up. I gave up on France years ago. I'm ashamed, truly ashamed. Well, yeah, I remember you mentioning Catan. And look, from the French have always had a great army. They always have. That's why we were always, the English and the French always fucking fighting battles over the years, and they always had a great army. When Napoleon came to power, Napoleon, I'm not being, you might think I'm going to be mad here, but I read about him, I studied him, and as all as he wanted, believe it or not, was like a European Union for trade. But everyone was battling against everyone else. And then the whole of Europe turned against him. The whole of Europe. They wanted to defeat him. What does it remind you of? The whole of Europe turning against one man today, and that's Putin. As I said before, all the corruption in Ukraine, and 24 hours, 48 hours ago, Podolyak, whatever his fucking name is, blamed Russia for the corruption in Ukraine. You can't make this up. You cannot make it up. It's like a fucking bad script. It's like a Will Ferrell and John Candy fucking film. Honestly, it is. It's pathetic. You've got Donald Trump wanting to take on the world, and he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. He wants to fight everyone. He's wanting to fight everyone. He wants regime changes all over the world. Frank, remember I said there was an incident in Delhi? Yes, you did. There were similar incidents in Pakistan and Bangladesh the next day. The games are put here. I sent. They're bound to be involved. No, they're bound to be. They just throw anything in to destabilise, because they know that India and Pakistan they've always been at loggerheads, as you know. Not so much Bangladesh though, but India and Pakistan. And there you have it. Throw a little firework in and let's see what happens. And the CIA, for covert operations, are known for it, no matter where in the world. There's Nigeria, and things going on in Nigeria are fucking terrible. Really bad. And again, look, Boko Haram is it, whatever they're called, and it's an offshoot of ISIS. Who formed ISIS? Who formed ISIS? And it was America. Al-Qaeda, America. They formed them. Who's in the White House the other day? Which is an absolute disgrace. Al-Jawani. Al-Jawani. That's the most disgraceful thing you could ever. Do you know what it's like? I'll give you like an example, not an analogy or anything. I'll give you an example of that man coming into the White House, the Oval Office, by the way, and shaking hands. How many Americans and British and fucking everyone else that they chop heads off? And it's like inviting in and giving him a tea party and shaking his hand and hugging him and everything. And that's it, the serial killer, Ted Bundy. That's just what it's like. I know it's all geopolitics, by the way, because they need him. And once he becomes superfluous, so we say, they'll get rid of him, like they do other people. Because he needs them in Syria. And he's in Syria for a reason. He's in Syria for a reason. And that reason is Israel. When you think about it. And Iran. He's not in for the, like, siding with Iran. It's a corridor for Israel, for Iran. But Israel really needs America because the big fallacy of the Iron Dome has been obliterated by Iran. That the big worry I have, Monsieur Frank, is the second wave of Erdogan is forced out. He is containing millions in camps in Turkey, which without him will develop into a tidal wave, and God knows what could happen. Yeah, he's got 4 million. He's got 4 million of them. And that's the leverage he has over everybody, all Europe. And he'll just say, okay, open the gate. And they'll all come piling in. I think it's more now, actually. It was 4 million a couple of years ago. And, you know, these refugees or whatever they are, they're all piling into Turkey. And they're unsustainable for their economy. Their economy is terrible because they rely too much on tourism. And people are not going to Turkey for some reason. You know, not as many tourists. And that could be one of the reasons why, with all the refugees, because they're everywhere, they're all over the place. And that's the leverage he's got, and they're terrified to upset him, Erdogan. Just let them in. But it's all America anyway. This has all been America's plan to destabilize the Middle East. Let all the migrants go into Europe to destabilize Europe, and they've succeeded. And Toscana to her death, 100-year-old veteran heartbreakingly said winning World War II wasn't worth it. Due to the state of Britain today, I'll never forget the look on that poor man's face. we've got our families who fought in that, and it's the same. I never talk about my dad because I really don't want to fucking know him. But he was a war hero. He was a war hero. And he was an officer in the Royal New Zealand Navy. And he was a SBS, Special Boat Service. And he was an officer. He has his own command. And he was fucking blowing up U-boats, undersea booting, and battleships and disabling them and everything he was doing. And he was nearly killed 4 times. He was captured and he escaped on the same day. But anyway, you know, that's by the by. And it'll be the likes of him if he was alive. They'd be spinning. He'd be spinning in his fucking grave now because he's well and truly gone. But lots of other lads. Like that old gentleman. I wrote a play called Echoes of the First World War. And it was like about trench warfare and that. But I was bringing in the poets as well, and poems were read out. And, you know, the horrors of war. And I always remember coming out, and there was this old gentleman in a wheelchair, and he was waiting for me. And he said, that was absolutely wonderful. My dad was in the First World War, and he wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't put it on again. He only has it on a week or two. And as that, Toscana, I cried seeing that. He said, and the interviewer tried to trip him up, asking him stupid questions, trying to imply he was anti-immigrant or migrant. Disgusting. We owe these heroes so much. Johan, yes. Have you seen Trump wants to celebrate, remember, in the US? Yeah. What did he say? We won the wars. We won the wars. I can't. It's laughable, isn't it? The UK celebrate it. Russia celebrate it. Never mentioned China, though, did he? He said they all celebrate it. And we're going to celebrate it. I want us to celebrate it. Victory Day. We won the war. We won those wars. No, you fucking didn't. Donald. Fucking asshole. Toscana says Maloney is refusing to give visas to people from Pakistan. Why do they want to go to Italy? There's no connection between the two countries. How could they improve Italy? They can't. That's a good point, because it's like what you've just said there. It's like I said before about Ukraine. What's Ukraine? Why are we giving them? It's only because of Russophobia. You see what I mean? That's all. Well, you know, if you were to turn around, say 4 years ago, and went, there's a map of Europe, just Europe. just Europe, East and West, without the names of the countries on the map. But you see the borders, and you ask the average Briton, where's Ukraine there? They wouldn't punch it in a fucking million years. In a million years, they wouldn't have fucking pointed that out. It's no use asking the Americans because the youth of America haven't a fucking clue where they live. I've seen it firsthand. Where's your state on here? Without the names were taken off of the state. And this fella that came from Massachusetts, he's living in, and it was in Massachusetts that it was being filmed. And he said, yeah, I'll just guess where it is. And he pointed to California, which was thousands of miles away. Fucking hell. We do owe them everything. Either come into the country legally or stay out. We have a friend from Iran who did it legally, and he's furious. There's lots of furious people. Legal. Callum. The only Donalds I love is Donald Duck. Quack, quack. Hiya, Callum. No football tonight, fella. America has 3-acre enclave on the island of England. Can anyone tell me where it is? Yep, I know where it is. And I know who owns it as well. And that's, she says, my mum's a Scouser. Says half a Scouser, Archie. And Callum says, actually, my granddad's dad is Scouse, but he thinks he was an Evertonian. Oh, we don't talk about Evertonians on here. Only joking. So scared. Actually, that makes you half a Scouse. At least it's given me a smile. Frank, none of these stupid people ask why the tidal wave doesn't go to the Balkans or Russia. Fleeing war-torn countries, rubbish. Mr. Putin must laugh at NATO. We got no border security. Yes, that's it. Get this shit sliced across here. It's horrible. And underneath there, I'm fucking scratching myself. Toscana to Cal, my condolences, because he's an Evertonian. Callum says, actually, my granddad always goes at me. Everton mints when Southampton or Saints plays Everton. Do they still eat them? And yeah, they do. They make them. Yeah. They're nice, actually. They're nice. The mass immigration was planned by the small bankers, yes. in the 20s as part of the Carlyle plan to destroy every Western nation state. Well, the small lads are always fucking at it, aren't they? This is why wars are going on now. There was a big, in the 1880s, there was a massive purge against the Jewish people in Russia. And I'm not going into details why. And they're all getting out. And one family came to Liverpool to get to America. Not one, there's loads of people got to Liverpool to get to America. But this particular family had a son. It's only a kid. Could only speak Russian. And he was put in a school called St. Francis Xavier's, a Catholic school, albeit that the lads was Jewish. But anyway, he learnt his language there at St. Francis Xavier School. And when he finally got to America 6 months later, he could speak English, the little boy. And he grew up to be the first person to say something on the silver screen. When the talkies came out, you ain't seen nothing yet. And that was Al Jolson. Went to SFX school. There you have it. And that's it. We allegedly can't stop boats and the gangs making millions. What is MI5 and MI6 and special services for? Totally for. They're allowing them in. It's all planned. As IBR said, the little Act Brigade, the tiny Act Brigade. Actually, black and white stripy mints, they were nice. Not nice for me. I cracked a molar, cost me £500 on root canal. Same as me, I've got to get this done, but I'm terrified. I'm not scared of dentists. Believe you me, I'm not scared of them at all. But when I had my operation, I've got to go on I'm on them now. And I seen the surgeon 6 months after. I said, thank you from one stranger to another for saving my life. And he said, no one's ever said that to me. Thank you. I said, no problem. And I said, these tablets, he said, yeah. Yes, be on them until you're 97 years of age. So I said, okay, thanks. And because if I bleed and the fucking blood just comes out and it's at the back. And that's what I did at that. And a boiled sweet cracked me tooth. Cracked it. And I'm terrified to get it out in case I'm right back. And and then down there, choke. Cowards are there, coward there. I tried to write 2 messages for 1 hour and I can't for some reason. got to be careful what you say now and what you write. So maybe it wasn't up to YouTube standards. Ali and the Ambi to Achi. You can't get them on. You can get them on Amazon. Oh, go away, can you? Sweets. Oh. Callum's going on about fucking sherbets now. Joseph Dobson sweets. Oh. And I tried to copy and paste 2 messages, but I cannot post it on the chat. All right, okay. Well, I haven't a clue how it works. It's a waste of time, honestly. And Ali, in January 1991, after Ceausescu was killed, Soros came to Romania to establish his associations. He bought the Romanian rats leaders. He forced us to accept Marxism. That's the way it is. Soros is, people abhor him and some people love him. It's as simple as that. George Soros. And he's got a lot to say and do to everybody. Leaders of the world, bankers, everyone. Monsieur Frank, what do you think the end game is? Where do you see Britain and Europe in 10 or 20 years? Well, it's out of Albion rounds and, even the first number there, but where do I see Britain and Europe? It's hard to fathom because the way everything is going now, the way I look at it, if Europe can't defeat Russia, I'm afraid that Europe could use a nuclear weapon. And that will be the end of the globe. And that's before that 10 years is up. But if it does succeed and there's no European war or anything, and no nuclear war, Britain will unite with Europe again. That's a foregone conclusion. That's a foregone conclusion because I'm telling you right now, if reform get in, which it seems likely they will, they'll be right over to Europe, and Europe will accept them right in. So that's what I see. That's what I see, Britain and Europe rejoining, shall I say. Starmer wants it. Starmer wants it now. You know what? I'm scared of needles, says Callum. Makes me shiver the way they pierce the skin. Yep. And when you get your tooth out, 3 or 4 of them to deaden the gum. But I have to get it out, you know. I really do. Gives me jib now and again. It's giving me jib now. And Ambi says, Ali Noose, you have to type it in the chat box. YouTube won't let you paste. There you go. And that's a little advice from Ambi. Callum, I watched the movie Tommy. Needles weren't good for the pinball wizard. Oh my God. Fuck. Kenny Smith. Hi Frank, mate. Hope you're good. Are you, Kenny? You're okay? Good to see you here. Oh, talking Russia and Trump and everybody. Von der Leyen. I didn't say it, nothing bad. I didn't swear, just normal truth messages, says Ali. And Ali says, one worked with dots. We always work with dots. Current affairs, Frank. Yes, current affairs. Yeah, I should have said that, shouldn't I, Amber? Yeah, thank you for correcting me. Try walking down the road in a pair of Elton John Dr. Martens and sunglasses with wipers, guaranteed to fall over, says that. I don't fucking believe this. Frank, it's a big plan, and none of us are part of it, mate. Billy Fiore, Wondrous Place. He was a Scouser. Yes, he was. And if you ever watch any of my old DVDs, you'll see me talking about him. Billy Fiore. Achie. The IBR says, I'm not convinced nuclear weapons cause long-term damage, they claim. As look at Chernobyl. It's like a nature reserve today. In Siberia, there's a place, I forget the name of it now, but it's just densely populated forest. And in 1902, something dropped there. IBR. And even today, over 120 years later, nothing grows. No birds chirping. No animals roam. Nothing. And it's vast. And they said, oh, this fucking pain, got me pain back. What it said was, the theories of what it was, and they said, oh yeah, it was a meteor. But there was no hole. It just went, and all the trees collapsed. And as other scientists were saying, top scientists, they said it was like today, like a nuclear explosion, the way the trees fell. And nothing grows today. Nothing whatsoever. And as they said, it was like a nuclear explosion. That's the only other thing. But this is 1902. Where's the nuclear fissure? Where is it? And these other people said, and there's witness statements at the time, said that there was lights in the sky and he was zigzagging all over the place, sending out like beams of light, he said. And these people said, well, looking at the statements, these were like lasers. And he said one of them came down then and went right through the trees. And what they were talking about, these other people, were those at the back of me. One of them came down and it just exploded. And that's in Siberia today. Nothing grows. No birds, no Lucelia cantari. No birds singing. Nothing. No animals. And the trees are still there. Folded over like this. The way they are. Like a nuclear explosion. And anyway, if a nuclear weapon hits us, we'd be fucking wiped out. Us. The global end of a nuclear attack. I saw the interview with Putin like 100 times when he said if Russia will lose this war, we will use atomic bombs, says Ali Danus. Nuclear, yeah, he said that. I know what happens in Europe now. I know because it happened in Romania. They forced us to accept immigrants who destroyed Romania. The ex-president who created this system was a gypsy. Merci. Thank you for your views. Frightening how the world, this continent have not learned from 2 world wars. Yes, I fear the establishments will drive a reunion with Europe. They need the cash. Of course they do. And after this war, they will. I am not white race. Romanians are Latins or Latinos. But I cannot understand how and why a country leader chose to destroy his own country. And people, I can't get it. I cannot do that in 1 million years. Powerful comment. Anyone that has a heart. Lovely song. Silver, Black, White was lovely. Where I live right now and where I lived before, where I grew up, she didn't live far from me. Silly. A lot of laughs. Surprise, surprise. IBR, tongue tusker blast. Yeah, that's it. See, these are all brilliant. Tell me, Franco, how a guy like Orban can stand against them and the others don't. Hungary is a small country. Maybe he is corrupt, but at least he don't look to destroy his own damn country like others. That's what Zelensky called him. Was it him or someone else? He said he's corrupt because he had to go at Zelensky and the corruption. He said it's proof that they are corrupt, but he calls him corrupt. I don't think he is corrupt. He's just a president who looks after his own people, Ali. IBR, 800 kilometres wide, boom, bang a bang. England is knackered, says Archie. Yeah. 100% of nuclear war start, world is over. Nowadays, nukes was like more powerful than the ones from Japan, says Ali. Yes. Listen, I'm doing a film show in the morning and 10:30, so tune in. Tell you about a few films. But try now tonight to watch. You get it on YouTube and it's called The Day After. And what you see is a nuclear attack. It's a smashing film, but it's frightening as well. How devastating it is. And yet they're 1,000 times worse today. It's good. It's a good film. Jason Robards is in it. He stars in it. It's really good. It's good. And Ali says 100%, yeah, oh, you've done that. Oh, the debt, to your left, at the alley. Orban has balls and is what we should have in this country. A man who is a patriot, who is driven to serve his country and looked after the best interests of his people. 100% Odette. 100% sweetheart. Agree with you. The Satan II Russian nuke, says IBR, has a blast zone of about 13 tridents and can travel at hypersonic speed, so we have no chance. Oh, blimey. Ali, the noose to Odette. I know, I started with the balls thing on Twitter months ago. That's my opinion as well. But he is nobody compared to the big dogs. And still, he can say no. Johan, to Ali, I like Orban. But his relationship with Bibi, yeah, he fucking invited him over, didn't he, for 4 days? That worried me as well. Actually, Ken Dodd appears to be a good one and not a ass near you. And Ken was a friend. And he said to me, he gave me the biggest compliment ever. And he said, you're the best historian I know. And he was a historian himself, believe it or not. Ali says that it's not the size, but it's the bite. And this von der Leyen can't bully him. Exactly. She can't. This is why she wants to build a fucking army so that she could go in and crush any dissenters like Orban, Viktor Orban. Good shout at that. I like that. Buonanotte, Franco, and everyone. Thank you for the show and freedom of expression, says Bella. Mille grazie, Bella. Cara mia, Bella. Grazie. Toscana Terrelli. Just look at Starmer. He's doing a great job of wrecking this country. Apparently, any leader who puts his country first is a fascist. I salute the likes of Maloney and Orban. Yeah, but she's only started to do it now, hasn't she, Georgia? I'm going to finish on these people. Seen the day after on your advice when I was back home, says Johan. The nuclear explosion scene was brilliant, wasn't it just? Imagine that today, Johan. Imagine it, which is far worse. Ali. I love people like him. That's it. I fought with all the mafia from my town. Alone, everybody around me quit. I like people who defend the truth, even if it means standing alone. But we're standing alone on here, to be honest. Ken Dodd loved the library, Frank. Yeah, he got my book, actually. He said, Frank, he said, I really need to have your book. I said, okay, Ken. And I presented him with it, signed by me, which is nice. Estonian president said that he is not happy with China, says Ali. I bet she doesn't know where Estonia is. Of course he does. It's fantastic. He wants China. He said, listen, you better stop buying oil off them and being close friends. That's it. Monsieur Frankenchat, thank you very much for your open and honestly on difficult subjects. Thanks for a brilliant show. Merci, Odette. Mon chéri. Merci. Thank you. Ali, what happens in England now? That's exactly what happens in Romania after 1990. Gypsies did worst possible things and nobody had the right to say anything. Even now is the same. Yes. I'm going to finish off, boys and girls. I have to. IBR. Another banging show, Franco, and grazie. Grazie. Thank you. Thank you so much, IBR. Ali, I lost even my job because I tried to be real, even if I had and have it. Yeah, we all have problems. Toscana. Doddy was a legend. Yes, he was. And Ali the Noose, Queen Odette. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? Actually, England needs to wake up pretty goddamn quick. Bring out the dizzy men from Nottingham. They have big. That's it now. Thank you, Frank and Legends. Have a great weekend, everyone. You should come and join me in, yes. I hope, you don't know that you're on Mars. Because Elon sent you up in SpaceX for the next 6 months in one of them containers where you grow your own food and kangaroos and things for kangaroo meat. Come and join me on Mars to get away from all the negativity. Good night. Good night, Johan. You're a good man. You're a good man. Glad to see new great people on the chat, Frankie. Odette is one of them, at least for now. Says Ali the Noose. Yes, she's a lovely girl. They're all lovely, all the girls on here. They all say what they want to say. They have an opinion, and they're all great opinions, just like all the lads as well. Even Callum with his thing, and Archie with his mints. Have a great weekend, everybody. Much love, says Ali Noose, all the way from Romania. And on that lovely note, thank you. Hope to see some of you tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning. Got a few films to tell you about. Fucking hell. Actually, take care all. And on that wonderful note, thank you so much, people. I've really appreciated keeping me company tonight. It's been wonderful. Great comments. Thank you so much. And I hope to see some of you tomorrow, if not Monday, for the history show. Mille grazie. Ciao. Ciao, Bella. Mattina. Ciao.